The old gentleman and his good lady entertained us kindly and utterly refused to take any remuneration as we were on a mission to the upper settlements. Low was then a forest with a few patches cleared. In rainy weather, it was very deep and dirty in places. Then it was nearly impossible. One held the horse at the gully whilst the other got through on logs and roots. The little horse half waded, half swam. The tall one threw mud high and far from his passage through. The saddles had to be carefully wiped with leaves to allow a remount. Sometimes we took the narrow path round these deep pits. My roots go back to Low for long ways. I grew up in the village of Low, went to school at St. Michael's High School. Treated Low area where I lived right in the middle of a Low village as a huge playground, and I'm involved in many community activities there. My book, Low Municipality, Reflections of the Past, it grew out of a activity that was being done in Low to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Low in 2008. Organizing Community approached me to do some type of booklet which would display some history of Low's past. Well, what happened was the material I found and the research I found, it soon morphed into so much information that I wanted to continue to produce a little bit more of the history. There's no real history recorded in Low, formal history. There was bits and pieces. The research took 10 years to produce the book. It morphed into about 600-page document. It ended up going in and looking at the lumber industry that was developed in Low, the farming industry, the history of the railroad, the building of the Poggan Dam. It looked at churches, businesses, schools, started to include not only the Low area, but from Chelsea almost up to Casabajra, the association of Low with those communities. Some of the most interesting findings I found was the legislative records from early pre-Confederation that took place, what would have been called Lower Canada at the time. Things like the colonization roads and how they were built, the first roads up there. We had people bring their personal photos in of their ancestors. We were able to scan them, document them, write their names down. So when we were able to do that, that was really interesting to see some of the people that existed back then. Also eventually to be able to see the look on other people's faces when they actually saw sometimes a picture of their great-grandfather or grandmother that they had never seen before. So what we did was we took an old map from the 6 specific areas that make up Low Municipality, Low Village, which is in the center. And then there is Venosta to the northwest and Martindale to the northeast. It was really a neat design to be able to coordinate the cover like that and come up with a scheme and a color theme. I'd also like to someday maybe do a little bit of writing. I'd like to follow in Brian DeBoyle's footsteps. I'd like to document what it was like to grow up in Low when you're 10 years old, 12, 13, 14 years old. That's what's next for me.